The movie begins with Tang, a Chinese man who is an expert in martial arts. Tang decides to travel to Italy to meet his cousin Chen and help her with her problem, which he does not yet know. When Tang arrived, he went to a restaurant at the airport to eat. The waitress gave him the menu, and it became clear that Tang did not speak Italian. He ordered food randomly, and when the food was served, it was evident that he was very hungry. After finishing his meal, he paid the waitress and left the restaurant. When he left the restaurant, he focused on a girl who was there and felt that she was his cousin Chen. When he passed by her, he confirmed his feeling, smiled at her, and Chen welcomed him. She began to tell him about her problem, saying that she had a restaurant, but there were some issues. Chen thought Tang was a lawyer, but was surprised when he told her that he was a strong kung fu fighter. When Chen went with Tang in the car, she began to tell him her problem in detail. She said, "There is a gang, Tang, that breaks the law. They want to buy my restaurant by force. When I refused their request, they started terrorizing the visitors, driving away the restaurant's customers." When Tang felt that she was worried, he told her, "I am an expert in kung fu. Since my childhood, I have been training in martial arts." Chen told him that the gang members were ruthless people with firearms who did not spare anyone who tried to confront them. Tang replied, "Don't worry, leave this matter to me." Chen went with Tang to exchange his Chinese money for Italian currency. Time passed, and our hero met Jimmy, one of the workers at Chen's restaurant. Jimmy took our hero to the restaurant, where he found Chen with her uncle Wang. We learned that her uncle Wang raised Chen after her father's death and became her only partner in the restaurant. Wang expressed his sadness because he could not defend his restaurant and confront the criminals. Jimmy told Tang, "Come, let me show you something special." Jimmy took him to the back of the restaurant to show our hero that this place was designated for training the restaurant staff in karate so they could defend themselves and the restaurant. Tang welcomed them, and one of the trainees and workers at the restaurant said, "Why don't you join us and train with us in karate?" Tang agreed and started training, but Uncle Wang called them and said, "There are some customers, come into the restaurant now." The workers entered the restaurant to start their work, while our hero went to the bathroom. The gang, led by Ho, the assistant to the gang leader, entered the restaurant. Ho ordered the visitors to be terrorized, and the gang did so, forcing them to leave the restaurant. Uncle Wang told Ho, "Give me just 2 days to do what you want." Ho replied, "You have 2 more days, or I will take the restaurant in my own way." Tang came out of the bathroom after the gang left, and when he learned what had happened, he was very sad because he did not confront them. At night, Tang was in the restaurant, and many men entered. We learned that they were members of the gang. The men started mocking the restaurant and disturbing everyone. The restaurant workers decided to fight, and Tang was with them. The fight was set to take place outside the restaurant. The gang members went outside, and at the beginning of the fight, Tang told the restaurant workers, "Wait until I show you the power of kung fu that no one can stand against." The fight began, and our hero hit the first man. The rest of the men attacked him, but our hero crushed all the gang members and made them regret confronting him. Chen felt happy because she felt strong with her cousin Tang and thanked him for protecting the restaurant. In the morning, Uncle Wang prepared breakfast. The restaurant workers ran towards him, and he told them, "This food is not for you boys, but for Tang, the hero who defended us." When our hero arrived, the restaurant workers asked him to show them some kung fu techniques. Tang agreed and took them to the back of the restaurant to the training area. He began to demonstrate his fighting style, and everyone was amazed by his strength when they saw the power of Tang's kick. Our hero was able to kick a person and send him to the wall with the force of the kick. After that, they asked Tang to teach them kung fu. Wang appeared and said to them, "Come on, it's time to work." Tang entered with the restaurant workers, and the restaurant started operating again because of Tang's presence. At night, our hero went home with Chen, only to be surprised by a man with a gun in front of them. However, Tang managed to beat him severely and disarm him. After being beaten, the man went to the gang leader. When the leader asked about Tang, Ho said, "He is a skilled Chinese kung fu fighter and has started securing the restaurant recently." The next day, the gang members, along with Ho, went to the restaurant and threatened Wang to take over the restaurant. The restaurant workers came, but the gang had firearms and beat the workers. At that time, our hero was walking with Chen outside the restaurant. When he entered the restaurant, the gang surrounded him with weapons. The leader said to him, "Leave the town," and gave him a ready flight ticket saying, "Be smart. If you don't, I'll get rid of you." When our hero left the restaurant, he managed to escape from the leader's men and started beating some of them. A man sneaked in and told the leader what had happened. The leader said, "Get rid of this boy, but without weapons, so it remains quiet and the police don't come." The gang members gathered against our hero, who had a nunchaku weapon. He managed to crush them all, showing his ferocity and terrifying fighting style, continuing to beat them until he got rid of them all. Then our hero entered the restaurant, disarmed the gang members, and grabbed the leader, saying, "If I see you in the restaurant again, I will never spare you." After the battle, Uncle Wang gathered everyone and said, "You must be careful. The gang will not remain silent about Tang beating them." Chen was also very worried about Tang and said to him, "Go back to the town because the leader will not leave you alone." Our hero replied, "I will not return until I make sure you and the restaurant are safe." At that time, there was a sniper aiming his weapon at Tang to kill him. He fired a shot but missed Tang. Our hero ran towards him, and the man tried to shoot him with the gun, but Tang hit him with a strong arrow, and the man fled. When Tang returned home, he was surprised to find that Chen had been kidnapped by the gang. Ho went to Chen and gave her a paper to sign the sale of the restaurant. Chen refused to sign, and Tang appeared in front of Ho. He managed to beat the gang members with the help of the restaurant workers. Then our hero said to the leader, "If you decide to attack us again, you will pay the price, and this is your last warning." When Tang left, Ho said to the leader, "To defeat Tang, we need to bring in a martial arts expert." The leader agreed, and Ho contacted the Karate Federation to meet Colt, the best karate player in the Federation. The next day, our hero celebrated New Year's Eve with Uncle Wang and the restaurant workers. Ho appeared and said that the leader wanted to meet them the next day to start a new page and forget the conflicts together. In the morning, Colt arrived in Italy. When he reached the leader, he welcomed him. One of the gang members challenged the fighter Colt, and we saw that Colt was a very strong man and a professional in karate. He easily defeated the man. After that, the leader said to him, "Be ready to get rid of Tang." Uncle Wang, Tang, and the restaurant workers went to meet Ho and the gang leader at the restaurant, but the leader did not show up. Ho suggested taking them by car to meet the leader. Uncle Wang was surprised by the place they went to. It was an empty place with no one there. Two karate fighters appeared in front of our hero, eager to fight. Tang entered to start the fight, but the restaurant workers said to him, "Wait, we will handle this." It turned out that the karate fighters were very strong and managed to defeat all the workers. Tang entered and managed to defeat them. He then decided to take revenge on Ho and the leader and went to look for them. When our hero left, we saw something very strange. Uncle Wang took out a knife and stabbed the restaurant workers, killing them. We learned that he was a traitor. When Chen refused to sell the restaurant, he conspired with the leader and his assistant Ho to get rid of Tang and take the restaurant for himself. Our hero tried to reach Ho and the leader. While searching, he heard a loud noise and tried to follow the source of the sound. The fighter Colt appeared and indicated that he would eliminate him. Our hero decided to run towards him to fight. When he realized that Colt was on the roof of the building, he climbed up to meet the fighter Colt. The fight between them began, and it was a fierce battle. Colt showed that he was an expert and skilled in karate, delivering powerful kicks and punches, dominating our hero with his high strength. Our hero tried to correct the situation and focused more on Colt's movements. He managed to deliver very strong kicks, knocking Colt to the ground. Colt became furious and tried to hit our hero but failed. Tang began to take full control of the fight and managed to beat Colt severely until he got rid of him. After that, our hero continues his journey and starts searching for Ho and the leader. When Wang learned that Tang had defeated the fighter Colt, he injured himself with a knife and told Tang upon his arrival that it was Ho who killed the workers. Tang becomes furious and tries to eliminate Ho. At this time, Wang attempts to stab our hero from behind, but fortunately, the leader arrives and starts shooting. Our hero dodges the bullets, and Wang gets hit. Our hero successfully hides from the leader and protects himself from the bullets. Meanwhile, Chen informs the police, and they arrive to arrest the leader. In the morning, Tang buries the loyal restaurant workers and bids farewell to his cousin Chen, telling her that he must return to the town. And here our episode ends. Dear viewer, don't forget to leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel to receive all upcoming content. Thank you and goodbye. The story begins with the character Lee, played by the legendary Bruce. This powerful fighter with extraordinary martial arts skills enters a fight with a fellow student and easily defeats him, ending the match quickly. Lee is then summoned to meet the master. The master tells our hero, "Your skills are now very high, Lee. You are the best student in the school. I have a difficult mission for you, my son." The master continues, "The Shaolin Temple, which has always been used to train students, has been misused by a man named Han. He used what he learned at the school for evil and personal gain, breaking all the rules. Han is a villain and a criminal who betrayed the school. It is your turn, Lee, to restore our lost honor." Lee responds, "Yes, I will do as you say, master." Our hero begins to carry out his master's request. The first step is to reach Han, and he is assisted by Braid, an American government officer. Braid wants Lee to prove that Han is involved in drug trafficking so that he can be arrested. Braid explains the plan to our hero, saying, "Listen, Lee, Han organizes a martial arts tournament every 3 years. The only way to reach him is to enter this competition." Lee agrees immediately to fulfill the officer's request and also to avenge the person who brought shame to his school and master. Lee travels to the United States, where the officer provides detailed information about the criminal Han and warns him about Han's bodyguard, O'Hara, describing him as very dangerous and ruthless. The officer tells Lee, "This is the place you will go to. It is like a castle on an island." Lee asks, "What do you know about Han?" The officer replies, "He is a king who lives on this island, and our only chance is the martial arts tournament, as it is Han's only means of contact with the outside world." After the officer's briefing, Lee is astonished and says, "All you mentioned, officer, a man who traffics in women and drugs and is a dangerous criminal, and he hasn't been arrested yet?" The officer responds, "We know everything, but we haven't been able to prove anything against him. It is your turn to bring him to justice." The officer adds, "We will provide you with weapons and technology, everything you need." Lee replies, "I won't need anything." The officer says, "All right, we have a spy named Mei Ling working with Han, but we lost contact with her. There is also a radio on the island. We will wait for your signal to come and assist you." Lee understands everything the officer said and heads to the island where the tournament is held. He travels by boat, recalling what happened to his sister, a story told to him by his father. Lee's father and his sister, Su Lin, were attacked by Han's followers, led by O'Hara. O'Hara wanted to exploit Lee's sister. The father tried to defend his daughter but failed, and O'Hara struck him. Su Lin fled, but they chased her. She defended herself using kung fu, managing to defeat many gang members, but was eventually surrounded by O'Hara. Realizing there was no escape, Su Lin killed herself with a bottle to avoid being exploited by the gang. Lee cried and went to her grave, vowing to avenge Han and his followers. Lee remembers all these difficult events and returns to the present, where we meet new characters. Williams is a skilled karate practitioner. His skills are evident when he goes to the tournament. Some police officers unjustly confront him, but Williams defeats them and steals a police car. Roper is a very wealthy man. While playing golf, a group of thieves confronts him. We learn that he lost almost all his money gambling. The thieves demand money, but we discover that Roper is very skilled in martial arts, and he defeats the thieves. Roper decides to join Han's tournament to win a lot of money and recover his losses. As the events unfold, we learn that Roper and Williams are friends. Williams notices Lee sitting alone and asks Roper, "Who is that man?" Roper replies, "I don't know him. I've never seen him before." A group of fighters gathered, and Lee went to them, finding that they were betting on a fight between insects. The fight was between a small insect and a large insect. Roper bet on the large insect, while our hero bet on the small insect. Everyone was amazed when our hero won the bet, and he responded with a smile. The ship then took the fighters to the island until they arrived at Han's Island. Lee entered the island to find that it was a giant school for training individuals in martial arts. He met the fighters and Tanya, one of Han's assistants, who welcomed them and took them to their designated rooms for rest. At the end of the day, a celebration was held, and the criminal Han appeared with many maids. He told the fighters to prepare for the tournament, which would start the next day, and that today was just for celebration. Our hero chose Mei Ling, the spy who had lost contact with Officer Braid. Ling said she was always being watched and couldn't learn about Han's activities. She mentioned that the girls who went to Han were with him at night and died the next day. She said she had little time, as Han could call for her at any moment and then kill her like the other girls. Our hero trained in preparation for the tournament. O'Hara, Han's guard, appeared and said the tournament would start early in the morning. Lee told him to leave the room immediately. The tournament began with Han announcing its start. The first match was between Williams and another man, and Williams easily defeated his opponent. Roper won some money because he had bet on his friend's victory. The second match was Roper's. He agreed with his friend Williams that he would bet on him, but would take some hits at first to make the bet on his opponent. After that, he would win and earn money. The match began, and Roper allowed his opponent to hit him with many kicks, causing him to fall. Once the bet was placed on his opponent, Roper turned into a beast and crushed his opponent easily, earning a lot of money for himself and his friend. The first day of the tournament ended. At night, our hero decided to take the first step in avenging Han. He began to sneak around the island to spy on Han. Thanks to his speed, the guards didn't notice his movements. He discovered a secret underground place and used a rope to descend. Unfortunately, he was noticed by one of the guards, so he quickly escaped and beat the guards. Luckily, the guards didn't see Lee's face because of the darkness. The next day, Han said that someone had sneaked onto the island to spy. He said, "Who this person is doesn't matter now. What matters to me are my guards who failed to do their duty." Bolo, the strongest fighter in Han's school, appeared, and Han ordered Bolo to get rid of them. Bolo killed all the guards as punishment from Han. The tournament continued, and the fight was between our hero Lee and the criminal O'Hara. Lee remembered that O'Hara was responsible for his sister's death, so he crushed O'Hara and knocked him down multiple times, astonishing everyone with his strength. O'Hara refused to accept defeat, broke the rules, and shattered glass in an attempt to kill Lee. Despite this, Lee managed to completely defeat and eliminate him. Williams and Roper agreed to meet to discuss the fight and Lee's strength. Williams told Roper, "Let's meet in half an hour in the room." Han asked Williams to come to his office, and when he arrived, Han attacked him violently, thinking he was the one who had sneaked onto the island. Han killed him. We discovered that Han relied on a prosthetic hand to replace one of his severed hands. Han then summoned Roper and revealed his criminal activities to him. Han showed Roper his friend's body and said, "This is the nature of our work." Roper became angry and refused to work with him. Our hero waited for nightfall again and sneaked back to the secret hideout. He was surprised to find a snake at the entrance. He caught the snake and put it in a bag. He reached the communication room, released the snake inside, causing the room's staff to flee. He entered the room, tried to contact the police, and activated the alarm to create chaos in the hideout. A large number of guards came, and Lee turned into a fierce fighter, defeating all the guards using his combat skills and weapons. Despite the large number of guards, he defeated them all. Lee was surprised to find himself in a place where Han managed to lock the doors, trapping our hero inside. The officer learned that Lee had been captured and informed the authorities. The third day of the tournament arrived. Spy Mei Ling took advantage of everyone's presence at the tournament to free all the prisoners held by Han. During the tournament, Han asked Roper to fight Lee, but Roper refused. Han punished him by making him fight the destroyer Bolo. At the beginning of the fight, Bolo dominated, knocking Roper down and almost breaking his arms. Bolo was very strong and violent, but in the end, Roper managed to turn the situation around and defeated Bolo with difficulty. Han was surprised by the result and became angry. He ordered the guards to kill Lee and Roper, but both managed to defeat Han's guards. Han became even angrier and ordered all the guards to intervene in the fight. At this time, the prisoners arrived and helped our hero, beating Han's guards until they were completely subdued, and none of Han's guards remained. Han decided to enter the fight himself. He attached a weapon to his hand and began attacking Lee. Our hero defended himself well until Han fled. Lee chased after him to take revenge. When he reached him, Lee said to Han, "You violated my family's honor and the honor of the Shaolin Temple." Han attached a claw weapon to his hand and raised it, signaling the fight. The fight began, and despite Lee's martial arts skills, Han managed to injure our hero's face and abdomen multiple times with his claw weapon. Lee defended himself more and succeeded in landing many powerful kicks to Han's face. Han decided to finish Lee off and grabbed an iron spear, attempting to strike Lee. However, Lee defended himself, causing Han to abandon the spear after a failed attack. The spear pierced the wall. Han fled to a secret hideout, and Lee chased after him. Our hero was surprised by the hideout, which was a room full of mirrors. Han knew this place well, so he managed to hit Lee and disappear quickly. He would hit Lee and then vanish. Lee thought about how to handle this difficult situation and decided to break the mirrors so Han couldn't use them. Finally, our hero managed to catch Han and delivered a powerful kick, causing Han to hang on to the spear, ending his reign. Our hero fulfilled his promise to his sister and master by defeating the criminal Han. And so, our story ends, dear viewer. Don't forget to subscribe to receive all upcoming content. Thank you, and goodbye. The young man Chung arrived in Thailand with his uncle to look for a job opportunity after traveling from China. Upon arrival, Chung's uncle asked him to remember his promise to his mother not to fight with anyone, and Chung agreed. As they moved forward, they stopped at a food cart to have some soup. The vendor served them 2 bowls, and as they began eating, 4 young men approached the cart and started harassing the vendor. Chung felt angry, but his uncle reached for Chung's neck and pulled out the necklace Chung was wearing, reminding him of the promise he made to his mother. Chung controlled his anger and remained silent as he wore the necklace to remember his promise. A small boy selling bread approached, and the young men took his bread and hit him. The boy ran to a young man coming from the end of the street and told him that those young men had hit him and taken his bread without paying. The young man rushed towards the group and started fighting them. Chung and his uncle approached him and greeted him. This skilled fighter was a relative of Chung and his uncle, so he took them to his home. The uncle greeted everyone at home and introduced Chung, asking them to find him a job. Chung went to the factory with his uncle. Upon arrival, She's Shine took him to the manager's office, who welcomed him and told him he could start working the next morning. Chung was delighted with the good news. In the evening, Chung accompanied his friend as Shine, and suddenly they saw Mrs. Mai crying. Shine asked her if someone had bothered her, but she didn't answer. He asked where her husband was, and she said he was gambling at the bar, and they were poor. Shine told Chung he would go to the bar to check on him. He found Mai's husband sad and losing in his gambling. Shine took one of the dice and split it in half, revealing a piece of metal inside, proving to Mai's husband that the gamblers were cheating. He took him outside, followed by a group of angry gamblers. H's Shane fought them bravely while Chung watched without intervening due to his promise to his mother. After the uncle left, Chung went to his new job. Near the river, he saw a villain harassing Xiaomi. She tried to escape, and upon Chung's arrival, the villain fled immediately. Chung arrived at his new job at the factory and started working immediately. While pushing an ice block, it slipped and fell, breaking open to reveal a bag of drugs hidden inside. 2 workers noticed it and wondered what it was. Another worker picked it up and asked them to leave. The foreman approached Chung, who had dropped the ice block, and slapped him. He tried to hit him again, but Chung stopped his hand. Shane appeared and prevented the fight. The foreman ordered everyone to return to work except the 2 workers who saw the drugs. He told them to go to the manager's office immediately. The manager offered them $2,000 to keep quiet about what they saw inside the ice block. They refused the money and promised not to tell anyone. The manager sent 3 young men to kill them, and they were stabbed to death. The next day, Shane asked about the 2 workers who didn't return home the previous night. He was told they went to the manager's office. Shane went to the manager's office and asked about them. The manager said the factory owner had summoned them. Shane arrived at the owner's house with a friend and asked to see him. They entered the owner's office, and Shane asked about his friends who didn't return home. The owner said he had summoned them to give them a financial reward and informed the police about their disappearance. Shane felt uneasy about the owner's words. The owner offered to make him a rich man if he forgot about the 2 workers. Shane refused and angrily told the owner he would report him to the police. The owner said he had no evidence against him. Shane and his friend left the office, followed by a group of the owner's men. A fierce fight ensued, resulting in the deaths of Shane and his friend. At home, Shane's friends waited for him, but he didn't return. Early in the morning, they searched for him and his friend. Upon arriving at the factory, they decided to go to the manager's office to ask about Shane and his friend. The manager said the owner told him they had left, but they didn't believe him. They decided not to work until Shane and his friend returned. The foreman approached them with a group of men. Chung stepped aside and held his mother's necklace while his friends fought the foreman's men. One of Chung's friends asked him to join the fight, but Chung remained silent until one of the men hit him and took the necklace from his neck, throwing it to the ground. This ignited Chung's anger, and he started fighting them, knocking them down one by one, while his friends watched in amazement. After the fight, the manager summoned Chung to his office and appointed him as the new foreman to keep them from investigating Shane's disappearance. The workers were happy, and upon returning home, Xiaomi asked about their happiness. They told her the story of the hero Chung and how he was appointed as the new foreman. She asked if Shine had returned, and everyone fell silent. In the morning, Chung went to the factory manager's office to ask about Shane. The manager told him to inform the police if they didn't return by evening and invited Chung to dinner at a bar. In the evening, Chung went to the manager, who warmly welcomed him at the dinner table and invited beautiful women to distract Chung from Shane's disappearance. Chung asked about it, and the manager said the factory owner was now with the police chief informing him about the matter. In the morning, Chung rushed to the factory after spending the night at the bar. His friends asked if he had reported H's Shine and his friend's disappearance to the police. He told them he didn't go to the police station because the manager invited him to dinner. One of his friends sarcastically said, "For one dinner, you became one of them." Chung went to the manager's office and asked to meet the factory owner. The manager did not object and asked Chung to go after work. Chung went to the owner's house and entered the yard through the outer gate, only to be surprised by a group of fierce dogs attacking him. Chung started fighting them, and the owner came out and ordered the dogs to stop. He asked Chung to come to him, and Chung inquired about his friend Hosh. The owner told him that he had informed the police and sent his men to search for Hosh Shine and his friend. Chung returned home but received no welcome from his angry friends. He went to the bar where he had been the previous night and met one of the beautiful women he had spent the night with. She told him that the owner was a fraud who dealt drugs hidden in ice blocks. Meanwhile, the owner's men raided Chung's friend's house, killing everyone they found except Xiaomi, whom they kidnapped. Chung left the bar angrily and went to the factory to find any evidence that could help him locate his friends after learning that the owner was a drug dealer. Upon arriving at the factory room, he carved one of the ice blocks with a knife and found a bag of drugs inside, along with dead bodies in the ice blocks. At that moment, the owner's men entered the factory to kill him. Chung faced them angrily and killed them all. Chung returned to his friend's house, only to find them all dead. However, he did not find Xiaomi's body, so he tried to search for her but couldn't find her. He decided to avenge his friends despite his promise to his mother not to fight anyone. He went to the owner's house and jumped over the wall to reach the yard. The owner sent 6 of his men to fight Chung while he watched. Chung approached them and killed them all. After that, he went towards the owner to fight him. Despite being an old man, the owner was skilled in fighting. The fight began, and the owner managed to wound Chung with a knife in his abdomen and scratch his face. While they were fighting, one of the girls in the owner's house freed Xiaomi and informed her about the fight. As the fight continued, Chung, due to his anger and fighting skills, managed to overpower the old owner and stabbed him with the knife. The police arrived with Xiaomi and arrested Cheng, putting handcuffs on both his hands. The story begins with our hero, Chen, returning to the Chinese city of Shanghai. The reason for his return is his desire to marry his fiancée who lives there. Chen is shocked to find out that his master has passed away due to severe illness. He is deeply saddened by the master's death and recalls his difficult childhood when the master adopted him, sheltered him from hunger and sleeping on the streets, and taught him the secrets of kung fu as he grew up. Chen asks the house servant about the location of the funeral so he can visit his master one last time. When Chen arrives at the funeral, he finds all the students crying, mourning the death of their teacher and leader. During the burial, Chen loses his mind and starts digging up the grave to retrieve his master. His older brother Fan asks him what he is doing and tells him to stop. Chen doesn't stop, so Fan hits him with a stick until he loses consciousness. After the funeral, the master's students gather and go to Chen. When they see him, Chen asks them how the master died. Fan, his older brother, replies that the master died due to illness. Chen, agitated, says he doesn't believe it, as the master was in perfect health. He suspects that the master was poisoned. After the funeral, while all the students are at the school, a group of Japanese fighters appears and gives Fan a banner with mocking words about the school and the master. It becomes clear that the Japanese fighters were happy about the master's death. One of them provokes Chen and mocks him, making Chen angry and determined to fight them. However, Fan tells him that it is not appropriate to fight anyone now due to their master's death. Despite the master's death, Chen does not forget the insult from the Japanese fighters to him and his master. He goes to their fighting school with the banner that mocked his master and school. When Chen enters, he challenges the students to bring their master. The students tell him to leave, but Chen refuses, stating that his master was mocked. Some students start fighting Chen, but he defeats them all easily. More students gather around Chen to teach him a lesson, but Chen takes off his shirt and uses his high skills and incredible speed to defeat them all. Chen is highly skilled in kung fu and uses nunchaku to show that he is a fierce fighter. The school's master tries to fight Chen, but is also defeated. Afterward, Chen puts his shirt back on and tells the students and their master that if anyone dares to approach his school or master again, he will show no mercy. He takes the banner they sent and makes the students eat its papers as a sign of his complete rejection of mocking his master. Later, the master, Hiro, learns about what happened. Hiro is the grandmaster of the Japanese school. Enraged, Hiro orders his followers to attack Chen's master's school and beat anyone who stands in their way. Hiro's followers go to Chen's master's school and start fighting the students. Chen is not there at the time. Despite Fan and the students' defense, the Japanese fighters manage to take control of the fight, beat the students, and destroy the school. When Chen returns to the school, he is shocked to find it destroyed. Fan explains what happened and tells him that the Japanese fighters destroyed the school because of him. Fan tells Chen that he should not have gone to fight them to prevent this disaster. Chen's fiancée, Leah, disagrees with Fan and tells him that Chen is brave for defending them and rejecting the mockery of their school and master. Despite Leah's words, Chen is saddened by Fan's words and almost leaves the school. However, Fan tells him that he is a good man, but should leave the Japanese fighters alone to avoid further disasters. At night, Leah goes to Chen and finds him sitting alone. Seeing Chen sad about the master and recent events, Leah tells him to calm down and try to forget their master's death. Chen replies that he doubts their master's death and promises her that everything will be fine after he avenges the master. He tells her that they will get married afterward. Leah goes to sleep, but Chen decides to stay by his master's picture, thinking about what to do next. After some time, Chen hears a strange noise and starts sneaking around quietly to find the source. He discovers two cooks talking in the kitchen and eavesdrops on them. He learns the bitter truth that they are spies from the Japanese school and were the ones who poisoned the master. Chen confronts them, becomes very angry, and beats them violently until he gets rid of them. Chen decides to take revenge on the Japanese school's masters after confirming his suspicion about his master's death. The next day, Fan wakes up to a message from his brother Chen, saying that he has gone to avenge their master by confronting the Japanese school because their master was poisoned. When Fan comes down from his room, he notices the police at the school and finds that the cooks have been killed. He realizes that they were the spies. At this time, the students do not understand what happened and who killed the cooks. Fan gathers the students and tells them that the two men were spies and that his brother Chen was the one who got rid of them. Meanwhile, our hero Chen is sitting by the master's grave, eating and thinking about how to avenge the Japanese fighters and the headmaster Hiro. His fiancée, Leah, comes to him and says, "Now you are acting foolishly by challenging a dangerous school like the Japanese school. China is now under Japanese occupation, and if you think of fighting the Japanese school, you will be arrested by the police, and your fate will surely be death." Chen replies, "I am not afraid of any of this. I will avenge my master no matter what, even if it costs me my life." Seeing that Leah is worried about him, he adds, "I promise you that we will get married and teach our children martial arts to defend themselves." Master Hiro learns that Chen has discovered the truth and orders all his followers to prepare for a fight at any time to get rid of Chen. At this time, investigations are still ongoing regarding the cooks' deaths. The investigator asks Fan about the cause of their deaths, but Fan evades the question and tries to distance the incident from the school and his brother Chen. As events unfold, Master Hiro is sitting with his assistant and friend Petrov, a professional karate player. Petrov asks for permission to leave, and Hiro agrees. On his way home, Petrov does not notice that the driver is our hero Chen. Chen takes Petrov to a remote place and beats him severely, demanding to know Hiro's location. Petrov tells Chen everything. and Chen decides to leave without killing him. However, as Chen leaves, Petrov picks up a stone to kill Chen, but Chen notices and delivers a fatal punch to him. Hero learns about his assistant's fate and that Chen was the one who killed him. Knowing Hero's location, Chen disguises himself as an old man to observe the place and the guards carefully, planning his attack on the Japanese school. As events progress, Chen cuts the communication lines of the Japanese school and disguises himself as a maintenance worker to gain entry. Successfully entering the school, Chen notices Hero's friend and karate fighter Petrov, recognizing him as a very strong fighter with high karate skills. Chen enters Hero's office to fix the phones. Hero does not notice Chen's disguise and discusses his future plans with his assistant. Chen listens carefully to learn everything about the school before seeking revenge. At night, Chen sneaks into the Japanese school after finalizing his revenge plan. Upon entering, he tells the Japanese students to stay out of his way or face a beating. The students refuse and attack Chen, but he shows his ferocity and intense anger over his master's death, defeating and crushing them all. One of Hero's strong fighters, skilled in swordsmanship, confronts Chen. The fighter injures Chen with his sword, but Chen regains focus and defeats him with a brilliant move using the sword. Chen continues his revenge journey, fighting every student he encounters until he reaches Hero and his karate expert friend Petrov. A fight ensues between Petrov and Chen, with Petrov landing powerful punches on Chen. Despite Petrov's high endurance, Chen manages to defeat him. Chen then searches for Hero to avenge his master. Hero emerges with a sharp sword and strikes at Chen, nearly killing him, but Chen dodges the attack. The fight between them reveals Hero's exceptional sword skills, injuring Chen and causing a severe wound. Chen stands up again, focuses more on the fight, and uses his nunchaku to gain control over Hero despite his strength and combat skills. Chen delivers a violent kick to Hero's neck, ultimately defeating him. Chen returns to his school after avenging his master, only to find the police have taken control of the school due to the cook's deaths. Chen decides to surrender to the police to allow the school to resume its activities and free the students and his brother Fan. As Chen heads to the police, some Japanese men await him with firearms to take revenge. Chen decides to end his life with honor, running towards them and fighting bravely, proving his courage and strength even in death. And so our story ends, dear viewer. Don't forget to leave your opinion in the comments and follow us to stay updated with all our upcoming content. Thank you, and goodbye.